Welcome back to the channel, friends. Today we are starting a new series of videos on our channel which are about tranquil places in Delhi and places of faith, places where you can visit and meditate, pray, or just be yourself and do things that give you the peace of mind and bliss. In these videos, in the starting portion, I'll tell about the place and also the location and some aspects about the history, the story associated with the place, and the major portion of the video after I speak would be just a virtual tour with some soothing music playing in the background. Just sit back and relax and just imagine a virtual tour that you are taking there. And I would urge that do visit these places to relax your mind, to just rejuvenate your energies. So first in the list is one of my very favorite places. It's called Ramana, Kendra, Delhi. It's in the central part of Delhi called the Lodi Road, Lodi Institutional Area. It's right next to IMA, the management school, if you know, and there is a very famous Sai Baba temple there, and also Ram Mandir, which is quite famous for being built with a South Indian style of architecture and the decoration of the temple, the idols over there. So Ramana Kendra is right next to the Ram Mandir. I'll share the location in the description below, and also you can visit their website, that is the Ramana Kendra Delhi website. Just search on Google and you'll get the website which has all the location, and there's a Facebook page by this name as well. So this is a very simple, about a quarter acre piece of land with a lot of greenery and a green lawn inside there, and there's a shrine which is the timings are shared in the videos further, but most part of the day it is accessible and it is open for all. Anyone can visit there and meditate, and on Sunday mornings and evenings, every day perhaps there's a small puja that happens there, and also on weekends regular discourses happen there if you want to visit. Otherwise, around 95% of the time the place is it's never crowded. You'll just see a couple of few people are only there. You can just sit and relax, and there are cushions provided inside the shrine, and there is on one corner there is a big photograph of Ramana Maharishi in one corner of the room, which is many people feel a lot of bliss and peace in his presence, in the presence of this photograph, and also the surroundings there. You can take a tour of this Kendra. It has a library further ahead of the shrine, and also on the first floor there is an auditorium. It's a huge auditorium where they have basic facilities of a sound system, PA system, and speakers and chairs and cushions, and there's a stage there. So this is often used for cultural activities and some performances and chanting, etc. You can contact the office, the office there, to know more about if you want to use it for a similar purpose. I go there once in a while. I sit there and I relax, and I sometimes visit the library and enjoy the surroundings there. Right outside the Kendra, there's a South Indian food cart. It's a very awesome one. They serve good stuff, and that cart is available on my channel as well. You can have a look at the Ganeshan Anna's South Indian food cart, and also there's a shop which sells some savories and South Indian specific food items, snacks and savories. So these two are my favorite shops out there. Whenever I visit Ramana Kendra, I do go to these two shops and buy stuff from there. More about this Kendra, it's devoted to Ramana Maharishi's teaching. So for those of you who are not aware of Ramana Maharishi, he is a modern day sage, and people fondly call him the sage of Arunachala. So he was born near the Madurai area in 1860s, back in 1860, I guess December 1869, perhaps you can check the dates online. As a child, he had a normal childhood. There was nothing extraordinary observed about this boy back then. He was not interested in studies, but he was well built and very active in sports. One noticeable thing that people noticed that time was that he used to have a very deep sleep. His classmates and friends or anyone, other boys who had to if they had to fight him and all, they were really afraid of him because of his physique. But when he was sleeping, it is said that they would hit him and even carry him to another place and hit him while he was sleeping, and still he did not wake up. And later on he woke up and didn't even realize that all this happened. So this was one particular thing that people remembered later on after he became the sage, that people used to recall that perhaps this was one sign of a deep meditation unknowingly he was in. In his teenage, early teenage, or perhaps when he was 12 years or so, his father was no more, and he had to move with his family to his uncle's place nearby, where certain experiences started, which started hinting towards his yogi-like personality or his thought process. One of them, which is frequently quoted, is his. There was a guest at their place who told that he was coming from the Arunachala, the Tiruvannamalai area, which has the holy Arunachal hill there. So if you're not aware, Arunachala, the hill Arunachala, is believed to be the embodiment of Lord Shiva. From the prehistoric times, it is believed that Shiva took the form of that hill and resides on earth. So that is like a very revered hill in that area, and across India also. It's from the Puranic times, the belief is there that it's a pious place, and several sages have lived in the caves around that place and meditated, and of various beliefs and various faiths, people have stayed there and had felt salvation or self-realization, whatever you call it. But they've had, it's a very high spiritual energy area. It is believed so. So when this guest mentioned about the Arunachal hill, the young Ramana, what Ramana Maharshi was called earlier, was fascinated by that, the name, the mention of that hill. And during that age itself, like, another incident happened was that he happened to read a book called Periya Puranam, I guess, which had stories and information about the life of various sages, saints. So that also caught his interest a lot. And then there is one experience that he had, like, that you and me can also experiment. He was perfectly fine one fine day and sitting on the first floor of his uncle's house, and suddenly the fear of death caught him, and he started to observe that what typically happens when somebody dies. So he lay down and he made his body parts still, and he was still noticing that there's no motion in the body, the death is perhaps creeping in, but still I'm aware about myself, and the feeling of I still exists. So things like this started turning his focus inwards towards the self, towards a belief, a very strong belief that the only thing true, the truth can be tasted or experienced once he knows of himself, who he is, who am I, was the question that arose within him. So that's how his journey inwards started. And perhaps his main teaching is also, if you Google it or read books related to him, it would be about who am I, the main teaching, that this is the main question to pursue. And also at the end of this journey, like when you finally find your bliss, it is named as, this experience is named as self realization. So it's about the self, and it is a realization. It's not an action or not a goal. So in this manner, my personal belief is that these teachings and this way of thinking also matches to the Chinese saint Lao Tzu, who spoke a lot about inaction and how the grass grows by itself, and how nature itself, what Buddha called as Dhamma, or the divine law. In Hindi or Sanskrit, you would call it the Sanatan Dharma, the ever-existent law of the nature, or Dhamma as Buddha called it. So I think the teachings match Lao Tzu's thoughts as well. And if you notice, it's all about the self and your own journey, a very personal thing, nothing about rituals, religions. And perhaps this was one key reason that there was no discrimination amongst the people who loved Ramana Maharshi, or the followers were like from various faiths, men and women and everyone alike, even animals. There are stories about animals visiting him and interacting with him. There are further very interesting accounts of how he left his home and meditated in the Virupaksha cave, and the various caves of Arunachal Hill, and the various places he stayed, and how he was taken care of, he was fed by people around him, and everything falling into place for him as if arranged by Mother Nature herself. So it would be a good read if you go online and just check the Ramana Kendra website also. I'm just showing it on my screen. It's called ramanakendradelhi.in. So they have various pages there about the center and about the sage, and also the calendar and the future the upcoming programs. It's a very interesting story. Several foreign authors have written about him, their experiences and their spiritual experiences in India, and even travelogues. You'll find his mention in the teachings of Sri Aurobindo. Even Osho Rajneesh has several mentions of, even Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev has mentioned about Ramana Maharshi a lot of times. So I would suggest that you do go on the website and check out the books in the library. Something or the other might click and you might find it interesting. And the fact is that he's quite a modern in the ways that, like, he left his physical form in 1950s. So it's not an ancient story. It's the story of a school-going boy attaining salvation and self-realization and coming to like peace with himself. So if you're looking for a quiet and calm and clean place in Delhi, so this is one place to go to, and you can visit here. The Kendra also helps you, like there's a night shelter nearby for the needy, for a lot of beggars and people who live on alms. Stay there, and also there's a Sai Baba temple and the Ram Mandir there. So you have a lot of people, needy people who are hungry and who beg for a living and around this area. So there's a practice of feeding them. People come here for donations, and also Ramana Kendra Delhi also helps you if you want to organize a program for feeding the needy. The Kendra can facilitate it, like by providing some infrastructure that you might need, and the space where you can host that program. And also there's, as I mentioned, there's the auditorium, there's the shrine if you want to do cultural, spiritual and devotional programs, meditation workshops, yoga workshops, etc. You can get in touch with the office and they let you know how you can use this space. And yes, do come here, feel the peace, and while going back you can get a good dosa batter. That's my favorite activity to do here. Like while going back, I buy a lot of stuff. Either I have food from the food cart, or I go to the other shop nearby and buy lots of banana chips, dosa, idli batter and chutney, etc. And it's a good quality stuff, and you return happy home. The main ashram devoted to Ramana Maharishi is down south in Tamil Nadu, where he actually lived and meditated like years back. It's grown into a big ashram there, and then there are several other offices across India, across the globe, where you can find books, literature associated with him, and or you can visit and meditate. The Delhi Center was developed during 1960s and 70s with very humble efforts from a lot of people, and the whole story is given on the website. Then there were additions in 2008 around the library, auditorium, etc. Things came up, and today it's a very calm and serene place. So I'll stop talking now, and I'll let you experience the virtual tour along with the healing music in the background. Just sit back, relax. If you want, you can just take gentle and deep breaths while you watch it. Just breathe deep and gently, no need to pace it up, and I'm sure you're going to feel good. Soon we'll be coming up with more such places in Delhi where you can pray, meditate, or just be yourself and have a journey within. Stay tuned to the channel, and God bless you.